we're supposed to do the thing for the, okay. Hi, I'm Joel from Hothead Games, and you're watching Platform 32. How was that? That's good.
Thanks for the swarm welcome, guys. That's right, Swarm, the newest game from Canadian developers Hothead Games, is due for release early this year, and eager to find out more, we spoke to the game's producer, Joel DeYoung, which I think is Dutch for Joel the Young, and also Pete Lowe, Swarm's lead designer. Hothead have a different approach to making games than other developers, and rather than pushing out the same old... Wait a minute, why am I telling you all this? Let's just let them do it.
5 years ago, Hothead was founded on a dream. And that dream was to make the same World War II Normandy beach game every year. Unfortunately, someone beat us to that dream. Actually, a bunch of people beat us to it, so we decided to make digital download games instead. So we started out, we started the game in 2006, started the company in 2006, and our first title was Penny Arcade Adventures, which was based on the Penny Arcade comic strip. And our next game, which we just released last year, was Deathspank and Deathspank Thongs of Virtue, the great adventure RPG game from the creative mind of Ron Gilbert. And our newest game is Swarm, which will be coming out in early 2011.
All of Hothead's games have been really well received in the gaming community, scoring big in reviews, with each separate title gathering large fan followings. But so far, all of their releases have been downloadable games only. Why the freak do they do that? Surely they want to be making big budget retail games, no?
Well, I mean, we started the company to work on downloadable games, and one of the things we really liked about that is retail games are just getting more and more expensive to make. And what that meant is publishers were just getting more and more risk averse. They were just making sequels to the big franchises they already had success with. And what this meant is it's bad for developers, it's bad for gamers, because there's really this resistance to doing things new and unique and innovative. So we felt that the downloadable channels like Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network and Steam were ways to get some really interesting experiences in gamers' hands. And Swarm is a great example of that. The gameplay that you find in Swarm it's an action platformer, but it is you control the characters in the game in a way that you've never actually seen before. And I don't think it's the kind of concept that would ever have gotten to see the light of day at retail.
I totally agree with you there, Joel. Without independent studios like yourselves being able to create unique, original titles, gaming as a whole would be a lot more stale and boring. And that would just be rubbish. So, for all our viewers out there who have never heard about Swarm before, give us the lowdown on what we can expect from the little blue blighters.
Swarm is an action platformer where you steer a group of 50 pudgy blue morons through a ridiculously dangerous environment and try to help them survive, or just to have at least one survive. These cute little swarmites, they're not very smart. They just stand around. If you leave them there, they'll just look around, they'll scratch their butt, and wait to be told what to do. When you tell them what to do, they dutifully follow those instructions, even if that means diving off the edge of a cliff or jumping into a meat grinder. And in fact, this world...
If you leave them too long, they'll go kill themselves.
Yeah, they will. They're highly distractible. And in fact, this whole game is about them being in this dangerous environment and surviving. And it's so dangerous that there are places in the levels where you actually have to sacrifice part of your swarm in order to progress. And it really doesn't matter. None of the swarmites are particularly special in and of themselves. It's all about the group. And all you really have to do out of your 50 swarmites is have one survive in order to progress.
So, let me get this straight. The player is in charge of a group of 50 suicidal blue potato-y thingies with arms and legs as they run around a hazard-strewn landscape. How does that even work?
The cool thing about the game and the mechanic itself is that you actually control all 50 at once. There's not a lead guy at all, and so you actually move them all at once.
In real time, it's fast-paced. You can jump, huddle, spread, stack, bash.
Combine all those moves in creative ways in order to progress through the level. We think it's something really unique and something that people really love. It's a pretty easy game to get into, but we've also designed it. We know there's a lot of hardcore gamers, really people that are really like a challenge that are on Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network, and so we've really made this game something that will challenge the hardest core
We've got
gamers.
leaderboards for every level.
That's right. It's
global,
we
friends
really went old school on the scoring system. It'll remind you of being back in the arcade, and it's really about getting that high score and eking out a few less milliseconds to complete the level in order to beat your friends.
With Swarm being released on both the PS3 and the Xbox, will there be any differences between the PSN and XBLA versions of the game?
There's a global death count on PSN, which we hope to get into the millions.
Yeah, that's a really cool feature. We actually, if you play the game on PSN, you will see on the main menu a count, a live tally of how many Swarmites have been killed worldwide. And that number should be counting up very rapidly because lots of Swarmites die in this game.
Judging by that last sentence and all the footage of Swarm we have just been seeing, those cute little Swarmites get a bit of a rough deal and are given quite a bit of punishment during the course of the game, falling foul of many a nasty, spiky, burny trap. Ow! It looks like you might have enjoyed coming up with weird and wonderful ways to make the blue crew pop their clogs a little bit too much, maybe? Don't you guys feel a bit guilty? Or are Hothead a little bit sadistic?
Well, yes, I suppose. I'm a bit sadistic. There's something about seeing a cute, cuddly type of character dying in horrific ways. It was a little bit difficult getting our lead animator to buy into that, though, because he's
a nice guy.
He's kind of a cute guy. He's a cute, cuddly guy. And
I'm not supposed to say that on camera.
Oh no?
Sorry.
Well, he is.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so we actually had to work. We had to work with him to get him to really kill these guys in nasty, nasty ways. And I actually remember showing him Limbo for the first time, in fact, and that's sort of what he was like. Oh, yeah, I get it.
A bleak game.
Yeah, very bleak, dark. If you haven't seen it yet. And once he saw that game, he kind of understood, and then he started working with our Swarmites and started, building all sorts of crazy, insane traps. And he kind of probably went a little bit further than we even expected. But yeah, it was good fun.
Now, before you go, would you mind letting us know when we can get around to sacrificing Swarmites in the comfort of our own homes?
Swarm is going to be coming out on Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network very early in 2011. And in the meantime, you can stay up to date with all the latest news on the game at www.swarmites.com. And don't forget to stay tuned and keep checking Platform32.
Cheers, guys. I can't wait for the game. It looks like it's going to be great fun and a refreshing, innovative change from the overwhelming surge of COD clones and GTA rip-offs. Right, I'm off to try and make my own Swarmites by inflating 50 hamsters with a bicycle pump before shaving them and painting them blue. What? It'll work? Probably. Here, hammy, 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 hammy. Oh! Ooh, whoops.